The court was told that while the stadium can hold just over 34,000 people, around 2.5 lakh people showed up, believing that the event had free entry. Justice V. Kameshwara Rao questioned the government of Karnataka sharply, asking, and I quote, "Was there any standard operating procedure in place? Were medical teams and ambulances ready? Did you have a plan for stampede situation? Were the injured taken to the hospital on time? And did you follow any crowd safety guidelines at all?" The state's Advocate General said that RCB handled the ticket distribution and that the crowd went beyond what was expected, but the High Court was not convinced and asked what steps have been taken to prepare for a large-scale turnout. The court has now directed the Karnataka state government to file a detailed report on the incident and what exactly went wrong. And in the latest news that's breaking on that story, an FIR has been filed against RCB, or the Royal Challengers Bengaluru team, over the Stampede. And the event management firm DNA, the KSCA, or Karnataka State Cricket Association Administrative Committee, and others have been named in that FIR that has been filed at the Cubbon Park Police Station. And the FIR has stated criminal negligence in the stampede that resulted in the deaths of at least 11 people and dozens, nearly 50, being injured. We have Mohammad Vajiullah now joining us on the phone line for the latest. Vaji, talk to us now on FIR against the RCB and an FIR that states criminal negligence.
Absolutely, Krishna. It took 24 hours for the police to figure out and find how they should file an FIR, and now an FIR finally has been filed by the Cubbon Park Police Station. And the charges that they have put is Section 105 of the BNS, 115 of the BNS, and 118 of the BNS. And the accused number 1 in this particular case is the RCB management, accused number 2 is DNA, and accused number 3 is the KSCA officials. Now, this was something that was due because we'd seen what had happened in the last 24 hours, the confusion, the pandemonium, the tragedy that took place had to be held, somebody had to be held accountable, and though there is a magisterial probe that has been, that is ongoing, this is an FIR after we've seen multiple people coming to the police station and filing a case against various authorities and officials, and now that has been converted by the Cubbon Park Police Station, under whose jurisdiction this entire tragedy unfolded.
And Vaji, this FIR is also on the lines of what the state government of Karnataka has been saying. The Home Minister has been saying the people responsible for this entire felicitation event is the team that's involved. That is RCB and the Karnataka State Cricket Association, and those are the prime suspects as far as this FIR is concerned. Apart from the event management company, that's DNA.
Well, yes, somewhere or the other, these three entities were responsible for the entire celebration ceremony, but it was also the government who had called in, who were tweeting and who were talking about the celebration that was taking place and was coordinating with them. So somewhere or the other, the government also has a role to play in the entire tragedy. It now remains to be seen how they will be held accountable to this. While on one hand, we have seen DK Shivkumar, the Home Minister Parameshwar, coming out and accepting the fact that this happened under their watch and it shouldn't have happened, and how we'd also seen DK Shivkumar getting emotional, something that we rarely see it. So they have called themselves as one of the reasons why this has happened. They've taken the blame for it, but is that how accountability is set is something we'll have to wait and watch, whether something will somebody from the government be named or not.
Right, and talk to us, where does this FIR figure also, Vaji, now that the Karnataka High Court itself has taken suo motu cognizance of the matter? It has directed the government to file a detailed report on the incident, and the next hearing for that is set for the 10th of June.
Absolutely. What we saw in the court today is also something that the court had taken suo motu cognizance of multiple complaints that were coming to them, and on that basis court also decided to hear this matter. A total of 4 complaints had come to the Kavan Park police station with regards to the tragedy, and seeing this, the High Court decided to take this matter in their own hand, because one of those venues were also close to the High Court, and what we saw in the court today also is a clear-cut case of how the government also is being held responsible for the tragedy, while in the FIR the government has cleared themselves off. There's nobody being blamed in that. But in the court hearing, the court has also pointed out in the lapses that was done and has also raised multiple questions with regards to the shoddy preparation, to the shoddy arrangements that were done, and how there was lack of preparedness, and why there was no medical facilities that were available. So all these things have also been taken into cognizance by the court, and the 10th of June has been given another date for them to respond on what happened. So we will see a lot of things happening on that day. We are also waiting for how the DC, who started his investigation from today onwards, he did an inspection at the KSCA. A lot of CCTV footages of in and around the KSCA have also been taken by the police to go through the visuals and how all this happened, what led to the tragedy. Was it a rumor about the tickets being sold at gate number 7? Was it about the entry that was given? So all these things will now be looked into it, because the incidents have happened in multiple places. The police will take some time to give us a clearer picture.
Right, Mohammad Vajji, as we speak, the status report on the matter has been filed in the court. That's what we understand. That's the latest that we are getting at this stage. Vajji, if you look at what Justice V. Kameshwar Rao asked of the government, those questions, those questions cover, not just the government, but all those involved, who are responsible for this tragedy. Everything from what, was there any standard operating procedure in place? Were medical teams and ambulances ready? Was there were the injured taken to hospital on time? There's so many questions. Even after the stampede, Vajji, there's also questions on whether the injured were taken to the hospital on time.
Well, yes, when we were there at the spot, we did not see any ambulances. There were no ambulances or medical preparations that were done by the police. So it took the time for the police, for the medical emergencies to reach the victims. And because it was a crowded place, it also took the time for the police to remove the bodies of the injured from those places. So there was a lot of mismanagement that took place in Chinnaswamy on that fateful night, which resulted in the death of 11 people.
And Vajji, as we are speaking, we are breaking the story as well that the status report has been filed in the Karnataka High Court by the Karnataka government. Vajji, that means that this status report will now be considered by the High Court and will eventually be heard on the 10th. Right, we're just getting the latest on that story, the big story that we're tracking today, this tragic stampede in Bengaluru. A status report has been filed. We also know the details of where the deaths took place. 1 death at gate number 1, 4 deaths at gate 17 and 21. More and more details emerging about the tragedy that unfolded at a joyous celebration that was meant to bring people together. 4 deaths at gate number 7, 2 deaths at gate number 6. That's 6 deaths in all, and 1 death at gate number 1 and 4 deaths at gate 17 and 21. That's 11 deaths that have been recorded. And we understand dozens have been injured. Around 50 people were injured as well in this tragic incident. And now the latest on that front is that the status report, which the Karnataka High Court, which took suo motu cognizance of the matter, had demanded from the Karnataka government, has been submitted. We'll have to wait and watch because the courts set the next hearing date as the 10th of June. Meanwhile, an FIR has been filed against RCB, the team, their event manager for this particular felicitation or celebration, which is DNA, the event management company, and also the Karnataka State Cricket Association, the KSCA's committee as well, have been charged, have been by the prime accused in the FIR that has been filed. And the FIR is stating criminal negligence on behalf of the organizers that led to the tragic stampede. Earlier in the day, the Karnataka High Court coming down heavily on why no standard operating procedures were followed and why medical teams and ambulances were not on standby for such a big event, and why no crowd safety guidelines were followed at all. And in response, the state's Advocate General had told the court that it was RCB that handled the ticket distribution, and that the crowd that came in went beyond what was expected. We have Mohammed Vajula continuing to be with us here on the broadcast. Vaji, the latest is that the status report has been filed, but all said and done, we'll know more only in the next day of hearing, which is the 10th of June. But in the meanwhile, these numbers are mind-boggling, isn't it? You know, a stadium with a capacity of around 35,000 witnesses a turnout of 2.5 lakh. How come nobody who's involved in organizing this incident foresaw this?
Krishna, one thing we need to understand is in the status report, the nitty-gritties and the details are something that we have to look into. At a place where they were expecting close to 30,000-40,000 people, where a crowd of 2 lakh people barged in. The police presence over there itself, and the numbers that they also highlighted in the court was 1,640 police officers. Now that is very less for a crowd of 2 lakh people, and that is something we need to also understand, that the status report is somewhere or the other exposing the government because while they knew that there would be so many people who would be coming, when they knew that lakhs of people will come to Chinnaswamy Stadium to celebrate with the team, because it's come after 18 years and the passion behind it is completely different. And still, if they were not able to deploy additional forces, more police officers, keeping in mind the number of crowd, that is where this status report actually exposes the government, and that is one thing that which speaks loudly in this report.
Right, and it's also, the report also tells you the exact where the deaths have taken place: gate number 7, gate number 6, gate number 17, gate number 21, and gate number 1.
Pardon, I didn't get what you were asking.
The status report also tells us, where, the deaths have taken place. The 11 people who died in the stampede, 4 of them at gate number 7, 2 of them at gate number 6, and the others at gate number 1 and 17 and 21.
Well, yes, every gate which was informed to the public that this is where you will get entry was crowded at that particular point of time, and we were passing by gate number 19, and we also saw how the tragedy unfolded at that particular point of time. Likewise, there were different gates where we had seen, if you see one of our walkthroughs which we had sent, we were showing how we were moving from one gate to another, and we were showing how the crowd that was there, and that gate equally matches the crowd at the other gate also. So this is how the situation was, especially at the gate. There were a lot of rumors running around that there is a free entry from this gate, or they're giving you passes at that gate. And listening to all of this is where the public started running in. And that is something also that also exposes the government, because there was no planning, there was no proper decisions taken with regards to which is the gate, which is the place where the people can enter, how is it going to go about. No medical arrangements were done, and that is something that is a textbook case of how a tragedy can unfold in a city like Bengaluru.
Textbook case of how a tragedy can unfold in a city of Bengaluru, city like Bengaluru. Mohammed Vajira joining us with the latest on that big story that we're tracking. Away from that, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor, currently leading an all-party delegation to the United States of America, has once again come down heavily on Pakistan for supporting terrorism. Speaking at an interaction in Washington, Tharoor said that the US clearly understands India's position that there can be no talks with Pakistan while terrorism continues. He also dismissed suggestions from Washington that US trade diplomacy helped de-escalate tensions between India and Pakistan.
I think the US has understood for some time now that India has a very clear position that there will be no talks with a gun pointed at our head. It's not that we can't talk to Pakistan. I was joking the other day, we can speak all the languages they can speak. And we're very happy to dialogue with them in any of those languages. The problem is we will not dialogue with people who are pointing a gun at our heads. I mean, frankly, if your neighbor unleashes his Rottweilers to bite your children, and in fact to do worse to your children, and then says, let's talk, you think he's going to talk to him until he either unleashes those Rottweilers or locks them up in a kennel or puts them to sleep? It's as simple as that. You're not going to talk to people who are pointing guns at your temples. It's not going to happen.
And in a lighter moment, Tharoor was also asked about Rahul Gandhi's surrender remark. With a smile, he replied, and I quote, "We respect the American president, but we never needed anyone to mediate. We don't have any difficulty speaking the same language as the Pakistanis," unquote.
We have enormous respect for the American presidency and the American president. All we can say for ourselves is that we have never particularly wanted to ask anyone to mediate. As I said, we have no real difficulty in speaking the same language as the Pakistanis. As long as they use the language of terrorism, we will use the language of force, and that doesn't require a third party. If, on the other hand, they were to dismantle the infrastructure of terrorism, we can talk to them. If they take serious actions to show that they want to restore normal relationships with us, we can certainly talk to them again without needing an intermediary. So it's not in any way a negative comment about the goodwill of people. During this conflict, as I said, in any case, India didn't need persuading to stop. No one needed to tell us stop because we were telling them. The moment Pakistan stops, we are prepared to stop. So if they in turn then told the Pakistanis, you better stop because the Indians are willing to stop, and that was what they did, then that's wonderful gesture on their part with vis-a-vis Pakistan, but only Pakistan and they can tell us exactly what happened.
Meanwhile, back home in India, Union Minister Kiren Rijiju took a swipe at the Congress leader and the Congress Party leader Rahul Gandhi, who had described the ceasefire after Operation Sindoor as a surrender by Prime Minister Modi. In a post on social media platform X, Rijiju said, and I quote, "There's also a limit to stupidity and opposition. There's nobody in Congress Party to tell him that being in the opposition does not mean opposing the nation," unquote. Moving on. It's time for a short breather here. We'll be back with lots more on the other side. Keep watching News 9.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9, English news as it should be.
2.5 lakh strong legacy and counting. Join the big league with the XUV 700 with celebratory offers up to ₹75,000.
What are you saying?
Naya Birla Opus.